Hey everybody, Rob D'Alessio, Taste of Retirement. I'm here today on Moore Farm with Chop champion Josh Moore, one of my best friends, executive chef, part owner, Valari Restaurant in Louisville. It's a fantastic restaurant. What we're gonna do today is a Moore Farm Kale Salad and my favorite pasta, Pappardelle Boscaiola. Come on, let me show you how we do it.
All right, so we're out here on Moore Farm. We're gonna harvest some blue kale for this kale salad recipe we're getting ready to make. Everything we grow out here goes to Valari Restaurant, and right now we have about an acre of fall crops growing. Everything from kale, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Swiss chard, kohlrabi, a little bit of everything. So it's awesome. We love it.
More importantly, the guests at the restaurant love it.
So just gonna cut down one of those heads of kale, take those lower leaves off, and we're gonna head to the kitchen.
Okay, Moore Farm Kale Salad. And it's called Moore Farm because the kale came from this farm. All right, tell me what we're gonna do.
All right, great dish. Everyone at the restaurant loves it. Even if you don't like kale, you're gonna love this salad. We have our blue Scotch kale that we just picked from the garden.
And you take that rib out because it's just really tough.
Take that rib out. Yeah, I mean, you're not gonna wanna eat that tough rib.
Now, is this one that you do more towards the fall? Like kale's more of like a fall vegetable?
We do this in the spring and the fall. So
Okay.
in kind of before tomato season and then after tomato season, we plant this kale. It's a big hit. We're gonna slice this pretty thin. It's one of the things that makes it so tender between, us growing it and the way we spread the plantings out, and then also the way it's chiffonade. And then the dressing.
Yeah.
So that stone ground mustard dressing is going to break down that kale a little bit.
So chiffonade, just in case you don't know, that's real thin slices. You do it a lot of times with basil or really any kind of leafy vegetable. Just a little bit easier to bite, presents real well.
All right,
So the farm though, you grow a lot of the produce that you guys use at the restaurant, right? Or even most of it.
Yes, a big percentage of it. Big percentage.
What brought that on?
Bought the farm because of the old farmhouse. Really never planned on being a farmer or growing vegetables, and it's just kind of grown. We planted about a dozen tomato plants the first year we were here, and since then every year we add more and more. It's up to over a couple acres. 1,500 heirloom tomato plants alone this year, which is kind of like my prized crop. It's what we look forward to the most.
So you guys have become like tomato everything now, right?
Yeah, I mean, of course, caprese. We do a Mediterranean salad. Tomatoes go in the pastas. I mean, there's
Tomato pie.
Tomato pie. There's tomatoes everywhere in the summertime. So in this dressing, I've started a little bit. We've got some chopped garlic, whole grain mustard, a little bit of honey, balsamic vinegar. We're gonna squeeze a little lemon juice into there. We've got salt and pepper. Got some fresh basil and Italian flat leaf parsley.
So does Mother Nature ever wreak havoc on you?
Oh yeah. Some deer issues here and there. The deer love the parsley. They love lettuces, things like that. And then, of course, the weather. That's the hardest variable with the farm.
Especially with the tomato season, right?
Yeah.
Like whenever the rain finally ends.
Too much rain's hard on the tomatoes. We'd rather just irrigate the whole summer, but overall, it's great. Guests love it. It's a big pride thing for me to go out in the morning, pick the vegetables, take them straight to the restaurant, use them. So it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
A lot of fun. So we've got everything in there except for our olive oil. We're going to turn that on.
And then we're going to emulsify it. So emulsification's when you got the liquid and the oil. If you go too fast, it'll separate on you. So this works out the best way to combine it to where you actually get a nice vinaigrette type dressing.
So as Rob was saying, we've got that beautiful emulsified dressing there. We're going to put some of that in there with our kale.
So you're going to make a nice nest here and then kind of just garnish around?
Absolutely. It's great salad. All the different flavors. You've got crunch from toasted walnuts. We're gonna do some pancetta on there. What's not good,
100%.
Yeah, I mean, you throw. That's what I tell people. They're like, I don't even like kale. I'm like, you throw some pancetta on there, some pecorino, and stone ground mustard vinaigrette. It's kind of hard to go wrong.
Absolutely.
We've got some toasted walnuts. That pancetta's just been rendered down.
And pancetta is it's Italian bacon. It's salted, it's bacon, it's really nice.
Good pepper to it.
Yeah. You like a nice thick cut or thick chop on that, so it gives a good bite to it.
Got a little red onion on here.
There's my nemesis right there. I can't touch.
And then just, nice little pop of color, some roasted red pepper on the top. We've got our kale salad.
Perfect. Pappardelle Boscaiola. It is the best pasta I've ever had in my life. Now, I know I talk about that all the time, but I promise it is. So tell us what you're doing.
So amazing pasta dishes, Rob said. Super easy to make. We of course make the pappardelle at the restaurant in house. We actually use duck eggs from my dad's farm, so you get a really rich pasta dough. Beautiful pasta. You can buy great, homemade pasta at the store.
But what type of flour do you use?
So we use a 00 Italian flour, and it's great for pasta production.
Okay, so it's nice and pliable when it goes to the water, and you cook it al dente, right?
Yep.
Which means to the tooth, so you're not too thin. What else do we have going on?
So we have some oyster mushrooms. These are some really nice local oyster mushrooms.
Mushrooms have always fascinated me. I want to know who the first person was.
Yeah, to be like, let's eat that.
Like, let's eat that.
I always say that about truffles. Like, who dug the first truffle up and ate it out of the ground? So we added those mushrooms to that applewood bacon. We've already got rendering there. That's getting nice and crisp. Got our mushrooms in there. We're also going to go ahead and chop up little fresh basil and Italian flat leaf parsley.
So, elephant in the room, chopped. How was that? How did that even come about?
Crazy experience. Chop scouted Louisville several years back. They approached a handful of chefs about doing the show, and then you go through a couple audition processes, through like Zoom and things like that. They vet you and look at your background, and it's pretty crazy. But the show is real. There's no smoke and mirrors. It really is.
So you don't know what's in that basket?
No, you really don't. You open that basket and...
Is that anxiety?
Oh, God, it's awful. It's awful. But it's also a lot of fun. I mean, it was fun. I had a blast doing it. I am going to go ahead and put some veal demi-glace in here and kind of deglaze the bottom of that pan.
So tell us, how do they do a demi-glace?
So demi's about a 4-day process for us at the restaurant. We're starting with 50 pounds of veal bones. We roast those, tomato paste, onions. They go in stock pots. They cook for several days.
Reduce it down.
We reduce, add more water, reduce strain it, skim it, reduce it. So it's quite the process, but it's well worth it.
Packs a huge punch.
Oh man, it's amazing. I mean, you can see how gelatinous that is. I mean, it's just delicious.
So with Chop though, like it's a 30-minute show.
Yes.
So you weren't there all day, were you?
It was all day. We were there for 15 hours. So as you get chopped, you get sent home. Being there till the end, it was a 15-hour day.
And then they don't let you tell anybody.
No, had to keep it secret for a year.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Would you do it again?
I would. I've already told them I'd come back again. So
that's awesome.
Maybe at some point you all see me on there.
So tell me about your food background though. Like, did you go to culinary school or what started it all?
So I'm adding a little salt and pepper to that, and I'm going to add our heavy whipping cream. So my background, I always joke and say School of Hard Knocks. I started at Vincenzo's, another Italian restaurant in town, when I was 14 years old. My mom worked there and did catering, so I was able to get a foot in the door early. I loved it. I grew up with my grandmother standing at the stove in a chair. From the time I was 5-6 years old, I wanted to cook. Loved to bake, loved doing holiday baking and candies, and just I always knew what I wanted to do.
Right. And you all don't know this, but he's one of the best pastry chefs you'll ever meet in your entire life, but maybe that's for another episode. And the pan's getting really happy now.
And I'm gonna go ahead and drop this down for about 3 minutes. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty quick. Being a fresh pasta like that, it's gonna cook a lot faster than like a dry. So not long. And like Rob said, you don't want to overcook it. You want it to have a little bite and body to it.
All right, so now we're gonna drop parm in there.
Yeah, so we're gonna add our grated parm to this. Gonna thicken that sauce up. We're also gonna go ahead and add a little bit of that fresh basil and Italian parsley.
Now you use an aged parm, right?
Yes.
Okay. This is one of those things I feel passionate about. There is very, very inexpensive Parmesan at the grocery, and you can buy that and you can use it, or you can spend the extra money and get good Parmesan.
Extra money.
Spend the extra money. It makes all the difference in the world.
Tasting that for salt. We're good to go. Our pappardelle will be up in just a second.
So you seasoned the sauce and then you tasted it. I'm assuming you're just looking to see what?
Just, you know, tasting for salt, for flavor, but also the texture of the sauce. You know, I have that Parmesan and that cream. I want to make sure it's got a smooth, silky texture. And our pappardelle noodles are ready. We're going to go ahead and pull those out straight into our pan.
And some people have said, you know, like you've seen it before, I'm sure, you'll see they take the pasta out of the pan and then they rinse it. I don't ever want to do that. I like that starch in that water. It allows that sauce to adhere to the pasta itself. And then remember, you eat with your eyes as well, so you're going to want to make sure you have a nice plate presentation. Make as much of a nest as you can. Oh my gosh, you need to scratch and sniff your phone right now. It's unbelievable.
All right, and just, you know, to finish this, all we're going to do, like you said, a little high quality 24-month Parmesan, a little fresh basil and parsley, and we are ready to roll with our Pappardelle Boscaiola.
There you have it, Moore Farm Kale Salad, Pappardelle Boscaiola. It's absolutely sensational. You can take my word for it, or you can taste it yourself at the restaurant, 2300 Frankfort Avenue in Louisville, Kentucky. I'm Rob D'Alessio. This is my good friend Josh Moore. That was a Taste of Retirement.